If you've ever found yourself elbow deep in a bag of chips or standing in front of the freezer arguing with yourself about whether or not to dive into that pint of Ben and Jerry's, even though you know better and even though you promised yourself you'd do better this time, then this is for you. If you're new here, I'm Sarah Haas, women's weight release and body love coach, and I help women in midlife, menopause, and beyond stop dieting and make peace with their food and their bodies and live a simple, healthy lifestyle they can actually maintain. So if you're successful in so many areas of your life, but you feel like a failure when it comes to your health, you're in the right place. So maybe you know exactly what you should be eating, but you can't seem to actually do it, at least consistently. Or maybe you do great all day and then lose control after dinner. And you may have noticed that that can get worse in midlife because so many of us are juggling careers, aging parents, maybe teenagers or adult children, empty nesting, changing jobs, retiring, relationships, all our shifting hormones. And then add to that having trouble sleeping, all the high stress levels. Suddenly, those cravings can feel much stronger. But I want you to know that that doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means that your body is asking for support. So before we go any further, I want you to hear this. First of all, there is nothing wrong with you. Secondly, you're not alone. I've worked with hundreds of women in my 20 plus years in the women's wellness space, and so many women struggle with this issue. And number three, it absolutely has nothing to do with discipline or willpower. So most of us think the solution to emotional eating or eating when we're not actually hungry or eating even when we tell ourselves we won't is to be more strict. So we start another diet or we think we need to have more discipline and we think we need to beat ourselves up thinking that that's going to hold us accountable. That's going to make us better. That's going to help us really buckle down and finally get serious. But chances are you've been trying that for years and you're still ending up in that same place. And that cycle just keeps repeating over and over again. So I want to offer you a mindset shift. And that is maybe food isn't actually the problem. It's a symptom. It's your body trying to tell you that something's out of balance. So, what if emotional eating isn't the enemy? It's actually just a message. And you have to peel back those layers to figure out what's really going on below the surface. And a lot of times, that's things like eating when you've had a stressful day, or you've had an argument, or you're feeling lonely, or overwhelmed, or just plain exhausted, and feeling like you spent all day taking care of everyone else. And then food becomes that coping strategy. It gives us comfort, it gives us relief, it gives us pleasure, it gives us a distraction. And the truth is, many of us have been doing this for decades, and many of us grew up using food to soothe ourselves. Because when you're young, you don't have the tools to deal with big emotions. All you can do is survive. And when you need to survive, you'll use whatever is available to you. And food is often that temporary solution. And when something works, even temporarily, your brain remembers, okay, I feel stressed or sad or lonely. What worked last time? Food. So it's immediately a trigger, and you go from the stress to the food without even thinking about it. So I want to offer you a solution. And this is a process that I teach my clients, and I call it the pause. So when a craving hits, don't jump right to judgment. I know I shouldn't do this. Why am I doing this? Don't judge or criticize yourself. And also, don't try to talk yourself out of it because that just fills your brain and it causes more stress, and you're more likely to just break down and go for the food. So just take a pause without judgment, without trying to talk yourself out of it, just put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, what am I feeling? And all we're doing here is trying to create awareness. We're trying to break that automatic cycle, that automatic pattern. So we take the pause, we create some awareness, and we interrupt that autopilot reaction. So in that pause, we just start to get curious. Be a detective. Don't be critical. Just look at it from the outside and get curious, because if you automatically just start beating yourselves up, all that does is make you feel bad, which makes you want to eat, which makes you feel bad again, which makes you want to eat. And then it just keeps repeating that cycle. So pause and get curious. And then ask yourself, what am I really hungry for? What is it that I'm needing right now? Is it rest? Is it more connection? Is it comfort? Is it more fun and joy and excitement? Is it support? Or maybe it's just a break? Because almost always in these instances, food has just become the automatic substitute for something that's much deeper. So after you pause, after you ask yourself, what am I actually hungry for? Then ask yourself, what can I do right now in this moment besides turning to food that can help me feel better? And if you need some ideas and you feel like you could use a little more support with this, I've created an absolutely free Overcome Emotional Eating Toolkit where I walk you through this simple 3-step process in detail so that you can identify your triggers, learn how to calm your cravings, and really start building that more peaceful relationship with yourself and with food. And it also includes an emotional eating self-care journal. It gives you journaling prompts to help you uncover what your patterns are. And then also a Nourish Me menu with these exact tools that you can use to calm your cravings. And everything is 5 minutes or less. So I'm going to make sure to put the link below so that you can take advantage of this. It's absolutely free. One of the biggest misconceptions is that emotional eating is something you have to beat. And I don't see it that way. I see it as a messenger. It's your body's way of saying something needs attention. And the more you can connect with yourself and learn to listen with curiosity instead of criticism, the less power emotional eating is going to have over you. And you can really start to change your relationship with food. So if today's topic resonated with you, I would love it if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you'll be the first to know when I share new content. I'm here to help you release the weight, to make peace with food, to simplify healthy living, and to just finally feel good in your body. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.